If you're thinking about buying a wall printer, this might be the most important video you watch because the features that sound impressive on paper aren't always the ones that impact your bottom line. Stick around and I'll show you what actually matters when choosing a wall printer for your business. If you're interested in researching wall printers right now, chances are you've already hit that point of confusion. Manufacturer websites are clunky, key details are buried, it feels impossible to get clear answers. One brand says they have the fastest assembly, another boasts the highest resolution, and everyone swears their machine is the most reliable. We've been in this industry for nearly a decade. We've tested machines, helped launch over 60 operators, and talked to just about every manufacturer out there. And what we've learned is this: specs don't tell the whole story. Choosing the right wall printer isn't just about features. It's about finding the right fit for your business and knowing who you're actually doing business with. This is exactly why we created the Wall Print Academy, to help you answer these questions and get a head start on your business before making the investment into an actual printer. Check the link in the description to find out more. So with that in mind, let's break down the key factors that actually matter when evaluating your options. Things like which specs are most often inflated or misleading, which features are worth paying attention to, what hidden costs to look out for, and how to tell if a company will actually support you after you buy. Whether you're just getting started or ready to make a purchase, this video will give you all the tools you need to move forward with confidence and avoid the costly mistakes we've seen so many operators make. Let's get into it. First off is the printheads, which is likely the most important part of this technology that you're not even asking the manufacturers about. What printhead does a machine use and how it handles the wall printing is the single most important technical aspect of any wall printer. A common mistake is to think that the higher resolution is better, but nearly every printer on the market today delivers more than enough image quality for murals. What truly matters to your business are things like print speed, throw distance, and long-term reliability. Think of a printhead like the engine of your car. A race car engine performs differently than a pickup truck engine, even if they both run great in their own lanes. Similarly, a printhead that works well on traditional flatbeds might totally fall apart when it's flipped sideways and asked to print vertically against gravity on a textured surface. Here's a hot take. Most of the wall printing industry has this completely wrong. The vast majority of Chinese manufacturers are laser focused on keeping the total system costs low. That means using the cheapest components possible, including the printheads. Even high-end European brands, surprisingly, are cutting corners by relying on lower-end heads that weren't designed for vertical printing. And while these decisions might reduce the upfront price, they come with real consequences in the field: slower speeds, limited surface compatibility, and costly maintenance issues. This topic can get very technical, and if you're interested, comment below and we'll cover it in more detail in a future video. But for now, here's what to look out for and here's what to avoid. Legacy heads like the Epson DX7 are outdated and poorly suited for wall printing. Most manufacturers using this head recommend replacing it once every 1 to 3 months. That's a huge hit to both your uptime and your wallet. We strongly recommend avoiding any system built around the DX7. Now, newer heads like the i1600 and i3200 are more reliable and offer better quality, but they come with a fatal flaw: a limited throw distance. These heads only perform well when wall printing is extremely close to a flat surface. If you plan on working with anything other than drywall, you're probably going to run into issues. And because they're still relatively new in the wall printing world, we don't have a lot of long-term data on the reliability. The Ricoh GH2220 stands out for one key reason. It has better throw distance than the Epson heads. Not great, but better. That makes it more compatible on brick, wood, or uneven surfaces. But it's not perfect. Ricoh heads don't always play well with UV inks, which can lead to faster degradation and more frequent maintenance. They also are grossly underpowered for printing massive murals, requiring you to slow down your print speed significantly so that they can keep up. Finally, we have the Ricoh G6, undoubtedly the best head on the market for wall printing. The Ricoh G6 printhead addresses every major flaw on the market today. It's an industrial head with robust components, significantly improving durability and service life. It more than doubles the print speed and throw distance of the next best head, meaning you can print on more surfaces faster and with confidence. And finally, unlike every other head on the market, it's all powered by a recirculating ink system, ensuring precise ink flow, pressure management, reducing air, and drop nozzles. It is the most expensive head in use on the market today, but as the backbone of the printer and your business, we feel it's money well spent. So here's the bottom line. Can you successfully run a business using any of these heads? Yes, but each has its trade-offs. As you compare printers, make sure you understand those trade-offs and don't gloss over the cost of the head replacements every 3 months, because chances are you'll be replacing them more often than the manufacturer admits. Now that we've unpacked how critical the printhead is and how much nuance gets lost in this sales pitch, let's shift gears to another stat that sounds great in theory, but rarely reflects reality: assembly time. Let me break this down. Manufacturers love to brag about how fast their printers assemble. You hear stuff like, "Our machine sets up in 5 minutes," And that sounds great, but that's not telling the whole story. What you really want to pay attention to is something we call time to print, or T to P. That's the actual amount of time it takes from when you pull up to a job site to when ink hits the wall. And trust me, that number changes everything. Here are a few things we've learned. First, setup design can either help you or totally slow you down. Some printers break down into tons of little parts. Great for fitting into your sedan, but not so great when you're on your 5th job that week and spending 45 minutes just loading and unloading it into your car. Other printers are bulkier, but you have fewer parts. Neither is right or wrong. It just depends on your workflow and what kind of vehicle you plan on using for your business. Second, pre-print is where things really start to add up. Every time you move a printer, it needs to be recalibrated or ink lines need to be purged from air. Lower cost machines usually have an automatic purge function, which saves time. Higher end models often require manual tuning, which adds time and complexity. Ask what this process looked like after it's assembled and before you hit print. Lastly, if you're printing multiple murals at one job site, repositioning speed matters. Some printers have wheels built right into the track, which makes it easy. Others, you're lifting, sliding, re-leveling, and recalibrating with every single print. That can easily double your time on site. So when talking to the sales rep, always ask the question, how long from the time you pull up to the site to the first drop of ink? That's the real number that'll impact your business. And how they answer that question will tell you how much printing they do with their own printer. So remember, the faster you get there, the better the experience, and the more money you can make per hour on site. Speaking of money, let's talk about the next thing you need to be aware of, hidden costs, because the sticker price is just the beginning. When most people start printing for a wall printer, they zero in on the upfront price. It's usually a big number, so that focus makes sense. But what gets overlooked is everything that comes after you swipe your card. These costs sneak up on you if you're not paying attention. Let me walk you through a few of the most common ones we've seen and get blindsided by, starting with software and service fees. Every printer on the market today offers their full software suite, including key features like skip swath, laser alignment, and full speed printing. All of these manufacturers offer these features at no extra cost, except one, WallPen. WallPen includes a base version of their software with the printer, but hides critical functionality like increased print speeds behind a steep annual subscription. If you want access to what most other brands offer for free, you're looking at an extra $2,500 a year. Now, their software is undoubtedly the most refined in the market, but you should ask yourself whether the extra features are worth the price. Next is ink costs. This one catches a lot of people off guard. Most CMYK inks are reasonably priced, but the real wild card is white ink. White ink is used in a much higher volume, sometimes 2 to 4 times as much as CMYK. If you're printing on dark or light colored surfaces where white is needed as a base layer, your costs can climb fast. Be sure to ask for pricing per square foot and to differentiate between prints that require white and ones that don't. Another aspect that gets missed in the buying process is the cost of maintenance and spare parts. You don't think about it until something breaks, but it will. Higher end printers usually have more expensive parts and are harder to replace. On the flip side, budget printers have lower cost parts and replacements are cheap and easy. Either way, you'll want to stock some spares, because waiting 2 weeks for a part to come in overseas is a quick way to lose momentum. Ask your manufacturers questions like, does the printer come with any essential spare parts? Can these parts be sourced locally, or are they only available through the manufacturer? And most importantly, can you provide a spare parts price list? That way, you know what things are going to cost before you need to replace it. Even better, ask to see that list up front. It'll tell you a lot about what kind of support you'll be able to receive after you purchase the machine. Lastly, getting this one wrong can cost you thousands. That's shipping, duties, and customs. This is a big one, and often the most misunderstood. International freight is not like ordering something from Amazon. If the printer is coming from overseas, ask the manufacturer if they provide DDP shipping, which stands for Delivered Duties Paid. If they don't, you'll be on the hook for everything: port fees, customs clearances, taxes, brokerage, local delivery, and trust me, that can add up quickly. The bottom line is that the purchase price is just the beginning. Be sure to look into the total cost of ownership. That number is the one that really matters. Now that you understand what to look out for when it comes to costs, let's shift gears and talk about what happens after you purchase the printer. This is the stuff that rarely makes it into the sales pitch, but it's just as important as the tech specs and setup time. Because once you're in the game, you want to know 2 things. What kind of protection do I have in my market? And if things don't go as planned, can I sell my machine? Let's start with territory. Some manufacturer will dangle this idea of exclusive territory. It sounds great, but in reality, those agreements are often loose, unenforced, or full of loopholes. Let's say someone else buys a machine from a different supplier. They're in your market tomorrow, and there's nothing stopping them. The real protection isn't a contract. It's your ability to hustle, sell, and build relationships. Great operators build real businesses, regardless of who else is nearby. Now on to resale. Most people don't think about selling when they're just getting started, but you should. Life happens, priority changes, maybe the business takes off, maybe it doesn't. Either way, you want to make sure you've got options. Some manufacturers make resale easy. Transfer of ownership is straightforward and maybe even free. Others, not so much. Take Wallpen, for example. As of today, they require your printer to be shipped back to Germany for evaluation before they approve resale. And that comes with an $18,000 price tag. You heard me right, $18,000 just to sell the printer you've already bought. Policies like this can leave you stranded when you really need a life raft. Before you buy, ask, if I need to exit, how do I sell this printer? What's the process? What's the cost? Can I transfer the ownership myself? Having a plan B means you're smart enough to prepare for all outcomes. If you've made it this far, you're clearly not just kicking tires. You're serious about making an investment, and that's a big deal. Hopefully this video gave you a clear picture of what actually matters when evaluating a wall printer. Not just the specs on a website, but the real world impact on your time, your money, and your ability to build a sustainable business. To recap, printheads matter, but print speed, reliability, and throw distance are more important than DPI. Setup time isn't just about fast assembly. It's about how quickly you can get to work and start making money. Hidden costs are real, so always ask what's included, what's extra, and what it'll cost to keep running. And finally, make sure you understand your resale options. You want flexibilities, not anchors. The good news is you don't have to figure this out alone. That's exactly why we built the Wallprint Academy. We help you ask better questions and avoid common mistakes, hit the ground running before you spend tens of thousands of dollars on equipment. So if you're serious about wall printing, but want to do it the smart way, click the link in the description below and download our free buyer's guide. It's packed with practical insights, pricing breakdowns, and comparison tools. It's the guide we wish we had when we started. And if you want to hear about some of the other mistakes we've made in our wall printing journey, then you'll want to check out the video here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.